Hey, everybody. Emmerich Delsig and I are here today. We want to talk about Hempcell. We got a bottle of it right here. And we're going to just go over a few things that make it very unique to the CBD world and some aspects of it that can't be replicated because Emmerich's the patent holder on it and why that is. So from there, Emmerich, what's the first part that you'd like to cover?
Okay, so first, I want to get into explaining because the CBD industry is the biggest right now. Everybody has a CBD product, and they have all kind of technology, uptake technology, sublingual nanotechnology.
Mhm.
CBD with coconut oil, CBD with the other lipids together. So
Yeah.
when I first came out with this formulation, I did use the science behind the growth factors, which are in the Humanifort. And it's Humanifort is the only product in the world has all the necessary growth factors.
Yes.
One, it's very important when the first step of creation life. Now, these growth factors, they also act as a ligand to every single receptors. Now,
Mhm.
when I was using this science behind why my CBD formula will be better than the other one. I was focusing on the science.
Yeah.
So when I formulated the product, I had a few people very interested, and the High Times magazine, which is like a Playboy magazine for marijuana,
Yeah.
they scheduled a meeting with me. And in the meantime, I was invited to speak on Purple Haze Radio, the Jimi Hendrix cable radio station, to talk
Yes.
about the product. So when I met the biochemist, the first question he asked me if I have a PhD and research. I
Mhm.
said, no, I don't have the PhD, but I did read and educate myself like anybody else could go to the
Yeah.
library and read science. But what I do, I every day spend a couple hours always reading what's new. I want to keep updated because something we find out today in about 2 weeks that it's old. We have progress. We discover something else. So he told me when I have a proof that this formulation actually it will enhance the CBD activity or increase the serum blood circulation, then call him back because I had not in my hand. He did understand the fibrous growth factors, he had knowledge on, but I said, what is the proof that it does with the CBD?
Yeah.
So luckily, I had a previous contract with one of the top biomolecular scientists in the United States, and he is full-time back, uh, the top scientist now for the military. And knowing him and talking with him, he said, well, let's do this. We're going to do a blood test with your formulation on a couple of pilots at the US Navy China Lake laboratories.
Mhm.
So of course, they did a blood work, and because the Hempcell capsules I use as a filler, little tiny branching amino acids, so I don't have to add any filler, so people they don't have to worry about maybe some bacteria or some contamination it may end up. So the first group of pilots were giving CBD and the branching amino acid because that was part of my filler because it's well known that these growth factors are really tiny amino acid molecules also, so it goes in the same category. So first to get it out from the way that, hey, maybe the BCA would do what the growth factors does because they would think about
Oh, sure.
amino acid molecules. So first blood work on the pilot was BCA and the CBD. They did the blood work. And then after that, they added the Humanifor to the CBD. And I know something going to happen, but I didn't expect it fantastically. Actually, it upregulated and increased the blood concentration 138%. It's unbelievable. So,
Yeah,
but what was very interesting that without the Humanifort, it was increasing about 3 hours, and after that, it stabled. It didn't go higher. With the Humanifort was continuous nonstop going up 9 hours. So basically, you can take the Hempcell only once a day because the half-life is even longer. Now, of course, when I saw these results, I was proved and I was right, correct, what I was assuming about
yeah,
the technology. But at that point, I didn't know the humus contains the 2AG and
correct.
AEA. So we'll go a little in details. What's the
Um,
difference between
something
TAC?
I, something I would kind of want to talk about just a minute, Emmerich, is you brought up that the growth factors like AGA, and I'll pronounce it quick,
Okay.
two arachidon all glycerol.
Yeah.
That's what
So
we call 2AG for a reason.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then AEA, when these act as a ligand to the receptor, I don't think most people understand what a ligand is. And basically what they do is make the receptor more reactive to whatever
yeah,
product goes into that receptor. So um,
yeah.
I
So our cannabinoid system, it has also the uh, AEA,
mhm,
but the AA is just partial agonist. Now, it's well known that when you add a little bit of THC, which is in the marijuana, yeah,
mhm,
you add it. It also the THC acts as a ligand, but also it's partial again. So only the 2AG is the one acts as a full agonist. So
okay,
by adding THC, that's why some companies they adding a minimum sort of THC because
okay,
you notice a little more. So I see some companies that have 150 milligrams CBD and still people they don't notice anything.
mhm,
So the reason I'm making this video with you because it's a lot of confusion. For example, without naming a company who's very, 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 very successful in a CBD industry,
mhm,
they're having 150 milligrams CBD per capsules, and they're selling it for $150. So I had introduced to this person via Dr. Serrano,
yep,
and Dr. Serrano suggested that you need to talk with America if you want your CBD product be the best. So I spoke with this person, and the confusion was here. So if I start using a formulation which has 20, and listen, has only 20 milligrams CBD, now if I change my formulation and I come up this, and the customer will say, whoa, wait a second. So you're telling me I'm taking not only 20 milligram and it's better than 150 milligram, then you still want to sell for $150 and it's only 20 milligram. So it's
mhm,
because it's hard to understand. They don't understand the value of the humanifort,
right,
and you cannot replace humanifort. You cannot replace resveratrol. You can have colostrum. You can think about anything because where the source coming from, it's coming from a very early stage of embryo development. So
yes,
after I had this from US Navy, I was contacted by a company from Canada, and they
okay,
automatically they said we want to meet, we want to fly down, and want to sign immediately a worldwide exclusivity only for the CBD industry worldwide. So they, of course, they changed the name to Growth Cell. They had approved to the Canadian Health Department, and exactly in 2019 was the first ever CBD International Convention in Barcelona, Spain. So companies worldwide, they send them all kind of formulation, nanotechnology, liposome, topical, you name it. So, and also the Canadian companies submitted this Hempcell formula under a different name. They named them the growth cell. And after, beside all this different technology, patented this, patented that, they choose my formulation as the best innovative CBD product in the world because the only formula showed in the bloodstream and what did,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't want to down talk other formulation, and but I tell you what, the worst in the bloodstream actual was the nanotechnology, because the nanotechnology is on principle that using is just a little because the molecules tiny enters the system very quick, but you know when you give such
It didn't do
dose,
what they thought it was going to do.
Now
No.
to something to come close to the Hempcell formulation, it's intravenously, because when you
Okay.
put intravenous CBD, it's right there. But because the half-life, because in and out very quick, you have to do intravenous level 4 times a day.
Okay.
Okay, and that's man, that's very expensive. That's very expensive
and time consuming.
Okay, so I was kind of stuck with this best CBD product in the world because I had a contract with the Canadians, and my hand was tied. I could not go forward because I was worried about a lawsuit. So finally, they defaulted the contract, and I was able to cancel. And also, I posted in a newspaper that the contract is not anymore effect, and they shut down the website because they were still had a website for about almost 2 years. Then they did exclusive worldwide. So.
Okay.
So that's why I relaunched this CBD product. And regarding what's the difference between THC and the 2AG, you have to go back again to understand the meaning of agonist, full agonist and partial. So
Yes.
partial agonist can be between 1 and 50% maximum. Okay, so let's say you take CBD without THC, you don't know what's your 2AG levels
Right.
in your body.
So
that
if you have
be,
natural low 2AG
and
levels,
then,
it's not going to do anything.
Also, we know that after age 30, not just your hormones, also your growth factors start to diminish. Now, our liver can make some growth factors, but some growth factors, you're born with, and when they die out or lower, that's it. So no research on 2AG, if that also declines, which is 100% declines, but also can be declined by you having too much stress, you have a sedentary life, you
lifestyle,
eat too much over processed foods, all kind. This can contribute to the effect of down regulating the levels. So the good thing happened with my contact with the Canadians because they located a lab. It's very hard to find a laboratory they're able to test for these growth factors and 2AG. So they contacted a laboratory in Texas, which were able to determine exactly how much 2AG and 2AA, 2AG and AEA in the humaniform. So I can tell you exactly per capsules how much your body supplies. Now, this 2AG, it's also because the cannabinoid system in our body, we're born with that. And of course, CBD is very important. And first time we have access to CBD actual from mother's milk, So let's see, you have a pregnant woman or lactate, breastfeed.
Yeah,
they don't have to worry about taking the Hempcell because the baby already, but also because it has no THC, because at a very young age, it's not good to give THC to children, so the brain would not develop normally. So it's very safe, this hemp cell in any situation. Also, the 2-AG I was just reading, it's very important also on creatine in our body, how our body creates creatine. So now, besides you looking for all the benefits of CBD, it's a ton of study on CBD. It can be beneficial for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. It can be beneficial with people suffering arthritis and different pains in the body, CBD. But the reason they were not enough response from some people because they are not having enough 2-AG. Now, the 2-AG is mostly in our brain, and 2-AG is supposed to be higher 1,000 times more levels than the AEA. So just imagine you have a AEA, you can get AEA, yes, so you have your body AEA, but the most important part is the 2-AG because the AEA is this partial agonist.
Yeah.
So I'm really
and the 2-AG is a full agonist.
That's the one makes this hemp cell superior to anything on the market. They don't even want close, you know.
Now I'll explain here quick, Emmerich, because a lot of people don't know this. 2-AG is considered an endocannabinoid.
Correct.
That is a natural cannabinoid in our own body, which it's very clear. These come from the umbilical cord when we're in the first stages of development. They're in breast milk. We are supposed to have cannabinoids in our body. Our body is designed to use cannabinoids for certain things. So we're missing out on a lot of health benefits by not using cannabis. But the fact that we have growth factors that are endocannabinoids that upregulate the receptors for cannabis in our body is proof that we developed on cannabis. Like there's no disputing it.
You remember how, we do so many clinics United States, and how the medical doctors, they were amazed at how when they gave Humanafor to patients, how the maintains homeostasis in the body, because of the growth factors. But now I understand even more. Beside the growth factors, they like a network in a cell communication. Research shows that the 2-AG is essential to maintain homeostasis balance in the body. So just imagine we were talking about over and over this Humanafor is how wonderful. Before I was able to find out that it has 2-AG, now you put something together. Now the Humanafor has even more benefits. So we thought it's nothing like this. Now it's 100%. You can't find anything like this. It's impossible. Now you can find some traces 2-AG in cow's milk. But it's so little, probably you have to drink maybe like 100-gallon milk.
Cow's milk that's been pasteurized would probably kill the 2-AG.
Yeah, I'm talking about raw cow milk.
I just want people to understand they can't just go to the store and buy some milk and get a little bit of 2-AG.
So I know we have a few people with pains, chronic pains, and hopefully we can get these persons one by one, have a podcast to share, because these people, they were on painkillers for years, and some of them just after first night, next day morning, they couldn't believe it. It wasn't as painful as stiff.
You know that I'm going through a lot of body recomposition stuff, and I have shitloads of pain right now. It helps me with inflammation. It seems to knock the inflammation down in my vertebrae and my elbows. And is that supposed to be one of the bigger benefits of it? Is it keeping inflammation down? I just wanted to make sure that I was feeling that correctly. But ever since I started taking it, Emmerich, two things for myself, going off testimonial things is, that I suffer from really bad sleep problems. And since I've started taking it, I won't say it makes me fall asleep. I don't get tired per se, but if I fall, like if it's late at night and I fall asleep, I stay asleep longer and I have dreams. Like I used to wake up in 2 hours nonstop. Now I'll sleep 4 to 5 hours and actually have some vivid dreams. So I know I'm getting better quality sleep. And the Humanifort itself helps with some recovery there too. So, and then something else that I wanted to talk to you about, and might as well do it here, is Hempcell having the 2-AG, the endocannabinoids, I figured out, being a full agonist to the cannabis receptors. Once in a while, I take one of those THC gummies that are 10 milligrams for like social anxiety, whatnot. And I took one after taking the Hempcell, and it felt like threefold. I actually wish I would have cut it in half or something. It was a very small amount of THC that I just barely feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Emmerich, I was high. Like
Yeah. Now,
it was just 10 milligrams,
yeah, I want to mention this. I want this mention because after I did demonstrate that what does the 2AG, the hemp
Mhm,
cell. I was approached by those companies. They incorporate THC, and they said, "Well, now we see then it's working well, but the THC is better." Okay, then what
mhm,
the biochemist generally said, you know what, no problem, let's have a couple pilots test. So what they did, they gave the uh, CBD with THC, and they made a baseline, the blood serum,
mhm.
and then the same pilots took again the THC with the CBD, and they added Humanifort and outperformed the THC 80%. So definitely the THC with the CBD was better than just CBD alone.
Yeah,
But when they added, it was another 80%
yeah,
better. But also what they discovered, by taking the Humanifort THC suddenly, they were more closer to be stoned. So I've been telling people, you smoke? I said, yeah. Well, be careful that
do less. Use
what you
less
smoke, you're
tea.
going to feel higher. So
Yeah.
one of former IB professional bodybuilder who's part of Team Humanifort, I'm not going to mention his name. We have to talk with him. Maybe he'll come on your podcast.
Sure.
So he started taking Humanifort. He calls me and said, Emery, this Humanifort has any effect on THC? I said, yeah. He said, gosh, because I get so stoned and I'm working the
Yeah.
same batch. I said, what they send me a stronger batch? I said, no, it's because the 2AG also affects
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh, uh, because I'm not a marijuana user, I'm not
Yeah.
smoker, but I try to put together. Some people they smoke just a little and
Yeah.
they get stoned, and
Yeah.
some do more. So I come to my own conclusion. Then those people they smoke just a little and get stoned. They have enough 2AG
Yep.
in the
People that
body,
just
and
naturally,
those one low, they have to
yep.
smoke over and over, over and over.
Yeah. Well, you build a tolerance to it. Depends on how long somebody's
Yeah,
been smoking it. But
yeah.
if it was a study where if it was the same exact person or something, but
Yeah.
um, I forget what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter.
In the meantime, I had encouraged all my friends that if you use any CBD on the market and whatever technology they're using it, give a try to this hemp cell. And if you
Mhm.
don't see any difference, we're gonna refund your money.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody. And I'm not trying to put down then the other companies. They have different kind of technology updating, pretending. I'm not saying they're not working, but they're not as good as this.
Right.
So that
Hands
was,
down.
yeah, it's the same thing with the many supplements in the market. Yeah, they have the same product on the market, a different advertisement, and they say we have just essentially we have the best whey protein, and you check. I think in United States, two supplier on large scale whey protein. So I'm getting it.
No matter
I'm
who
getting
you're
it
buying it from.
same place, but I'm saying mine is better than yours. But you're getting the same product.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just want to mention that I do not copy any company's product. I don't have that many products developed, but what I have is very unique. And whatever we use in our product, they have no access because I'm the
You're,
worldwide exclusivity. And
yeah.
even other ingredients such as the fulvic humic acid, which I incorporate in my uh, CBD product. The reason I can incorporated the fulvic acid because way back when I launched this, people they were worrying about if the hemp is organic or not because the hemp plant supposedly absorb more toxins from soil.
Sure.
So what I was thinking about, if people worry about, but when it's a isolate extract, full spectrum, I don't think so. It's heavy metal there because you have to get a certificate analysis, and if you have too much heavy metals, you know
Okay.
the FDA will shut you down.
Certi-
But just for that purpose, I added a fulvic acid because that fulvic acid helps to eliminate heavy metals from the body.
yeah.
Now, just little off from the Hempcell and Humanifort, um, I start incorporating fulvic acid in one of my supplements for the gastrointestinal for microbiome, and I have a pilot
Mhm.
study conducted by Dr. Serrano. I would say maybe like almost 20 years ago, and back then I was contacting some other supplement companies explaining the product. Oh no, 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 no! Now suddenly the last couple months, everybody has the fulvic acid and all focusing testosterone booster, the silagate from the mountains. Well, of course, there were some studies showed that yet the fulvic acid it had some small effect on the your own testosterone level, but the study was conducted. It's not the one some companies they're selling because to work really good in your testosterone levels, also that particular extract has to be high in zinc. And
So yeah, and fulvic acid is a large spectrum of trace minerals that we need
yes,
for
yes,
everyday
yeah.
function.
And
So
what,
if we're filling those gaps, we'll get
yeah,
better
again, I don't
hormone
want,
output.
I don't put down the uh, Silajit crowd because I'm not going to mention very small chemist, a good supplement company, and I spoke with him about many years ago. Now he's all over testosterone. Now, the Silajet, of course, it's a good product. I'm not putting any companies down. I'm not putting down with the colostrum, with all this stuff. But what I'm trying to say that I have a superior source of fulvic acid because the one I'm getting at is not overground, it's underground and it's 100% from uh, decomposed plants. These plants, they were decomposed more than 3 million years ago when dinosaurs were running around and all the plants, there were no chemicals. So this decomposed plants is loaded with ionic minerals.
Yeah.
So the silage is an overground rock formation exposed to environment. In some places, the bird is sitting, pooing on. So you have to grind them up, and more it's extracted to purify it. The price goes up higher and higher. And the focus I want to mention because I know a lot of people gonna watch this. They're using the silage and they are focusing fully acid, but they missing a big part. It's when this it's under the ground, the plant,
Mhm.
decomposed plant, it's higher in humic acid, not fulvic acid. So my source from Dr. Chicher, it goes to separation. So he can make me any kind of version. I can have 100% fulvic, I can have 70% fulvic, 30% humic, or I can have all just humic. Now, by eliminating the humic, people are missing on something because the humic acid, it does an unbelievable work on the microbiome, the good bacteria, and the humic part, it's reducing glycophosphates in the body, which is anything you eat not organic, they have this use this pesticides on. So that's why when I incorporate to the Hempcell, I have the 70% fulvic and 30% humic. So beside
okay.
you have all, yeah, beside this, you have this unbelievable effects for you. Take the Hempcell, you have less pain, focus, memory, sleep. Then also you balance your hormone levels, yeah, triglyceride, cholesterol, cortisol, and
Yep.
now on top of that, it has unbelievable benefits on your gut, on intestinal peptides, and your colon. So by taking
Yeah,
this, you get
it would increase BPC 157 levels in your gut, wouldn't it?
well, extra has a stimulants and all peptides on ghrelin and all other intestinal hormones, and
Yeah.
even on leptin hormone, because leptin hormone is very important for obese people. Because if your leptin level is not in good range, because if you have good range leptin and you eat normally and you eat the calories you need, you don't get fat. Now your leptin hormone is not in good range, then you can do sort of cardio, all kind of stuff, starving yourself, and you still have hard time to get rid of the fat. And the leptin hormone mostly see affected more in a woman after giving birth. It's no science proving why, probably they're still doing research, but I assume that during the pregnancy, something happens with the leptin hormones in the body, because after giving birth, the woman will tell you, when before I get pregnant, have the baby, I could eat all day long, cakes, everything. I was on good shape. Now I'm getting fat from anything. So something happens with the leptin hormone. So it can be incorporated for people that have weight problems, sleep
Mhm.
problems, aches and pains, cognitive problems, uh, reflex, balance. It just covers the entire area.
Right.
The reason I made this formulation, the Hempcell with the CBD, because getting into and reading more, I realized that CBD, it's a very key important element in our body,
Mhm.
because if we would not, we wouldn't be in a breast milk, yeah, the breast milk,
Right.
because that's very important also the baby's development.
Mhm.
So now, understanding, I'm trying to sort of send out a message. I'm not a professor teaching universities, so I'm trying to get my point across the simplest way, and like a person with, of course, I don't have the PhD, so I don't have that high-tech vocabulary,
Mhm.
so that's why I had to explain that to AG
Yeah.
pronunciation.
You know more than most people with a doctorate, but
Yeah.
the doctorate for some reason gets a lot of credit. Um, Emmerich, I we've
Yeah,
talked.
so
You had talked
so
about the price of the hemp cell a few times. What are you saying is the price of it?
well, I do private label it. Yeah, I private label
Hmm.
to a company in Humboldt County,
Hmm.
and they're retailing it for $79.95.
Hmm.
And my suggestion retail it's $59.95.
Okay.
But people have to contact you, and if they are friends, they're not
Hmm.
strangers, then it's up to you the discount you give.
Yeah. Okay. And everybody can hear that. If you're interested in the hemp cell, get a hold of me directly and we'll see how much you want,
The out,
whatnot, and figure that out.
automatically somebody that's on nanotechnology or the liposome or sublingual or topical, for those, if they want to give it a try, you can give a discount automatically.
Sure.
And if they And if they don't feel anything before, they use only half of the bottle. Send it back and we refund the money, but don't send the empty bottle back. because 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 of course, if you don't, they're gonna feel the effect even faster. But I just gave maybe 2 weeks
Mhm.
to someone, for example. No, also I want to mention here, I'm not claiming to cure and prevent any disease.
Yeah.
So, for example, if ever in a family somebody with memory support, memory problems, or they have problem with the tremor, shaking, you can try it on those people, and you will see the results. I was telling, I have many people calling me with people with memory problems, and I'm telling them
Yep.
that it's not a cure. It's not a cure, but
But it
because
helps.
but because it's the only supplement in the world naturally occurring nerve growth factors. So anybody wants to find out more, all you have to just Google nerve growth factors, neurons, and memory, and you will see publication over and over.
Yeah, neurological growth factors. That's something that you dive into and see, and you see that it's actually in this product. It's hands down that
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah.
that it's gonna do something for you.
Yeah, and then so for example, for those are already on the Humanifort protocol, which are thousands,
Hmm.
if you want to incorporate the CBD, even you have aches and pains, you still have benefits, and you will know this when you fall asleep evening and
Hmm.
during night and you wake up. So when you take the Hempcell, consider that you're taking one Humanifort. So for example, if you are 4 Humanifort a day and the less Humanifort you take it's evening, you can replace that with the Hempcell.
Hmm.
So you have to take the fourth Humanifort if you take the Hempcell.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to take it twice a day, because this 2 AG also have benefits even during the workout. So
Hmm.
now, if you want to choose, you know what, I'm gonna take the Hempcell also before workout, then again, that's equal one Humanifort. So you take it in the morning before workout,
You're
that's
gonna be
one
better.
Humanifort. Then after workout, you take again Humanifort. And then if you go twice a day, you take another Humanifort. And if you take the Hempcell, it's considered Humanifort. So if you take
Yeah.
twice Hempcell, you have to take only two Humanifort. And another product will talk to you. I want to give it you to supply the public. It's drug tested, and right now I'm supplying to universities football team
Yeah.
right now, but I want to get it out to also bodybuilders
And,
and other
and this is
athletes.
this is the product that's being used in the UFC as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, UFC. So I will give you more information on, and also I have to talk with. Uh, I have in this project uh, Pro bowler, former football player. I have also a very famous MMA trainer in jiu-jitsu. I'm not going to mention the names. And so we are partners. So I have to uh, see and give approval to all the sides that you can go ahead and reach out to all our Facebook friends,
Yeah.
and we go from there. So
Okay.
hopefully it's not too complicated to understand the science and the benefits behind this Hempcell. And anybody out there, you want to give it a try, no problem. Oh, by the way, uh, this thank you to you because you introduced me to somebody in Las Vegas. They're gonna carry the Hempcell in two location and health food store there.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. That's perfect. Uh, well, did we cover everything here, brother?
Yes,
Did we,
pretty
did
much.
we?
And I would like to maybe uh, in a week or two go overall again the benefits you may afford, because I still feel people they confused,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
they do. They
And
just don't,
I just
most
want to
people
mention,
haven't ever heard of
it's
growth
going to be
factors.
list 4 people competing in the Olympia Open. They are human effort, and I have 2 very famous guru coaches. They get all the information. I'm not going to mention names because they have a, contract with other supplement companies. But now slowly the information gets out to those gurus,
Yeah,
and takes their time to understand, because they have to do themselves, sit down, spend maybe at least half hour daily, and go one by one these growth factors, and
yeah,
what's the benefits, and why it's so important, and what's happened when these are start diminishing, and also heavy training,
yeah,
loads, exercise, what damage does in our body, and how you recover after workouts. So
yeah,
when you read all this information, they're gonna all realize that, oh, the hormones are not the one in recovery. Testosterone is beneficial, more protein synthesized,
yeah,
but recovery in the cellular levels, like muscle stem cells, is the growth factors, not the hormones.
yep.
So it doesn't matter who
And
are you, Mr. Olympia, second, third place, or just competing for the nationals, or we try to get the pro card, and whatever you use, Trembolone, I'm not getting involved who was he using. They made their own choice. But if you do use those drugs,
yeah,
hormones, you still have benefits. And even more, if you use those drugs, I would suggest you it's even more important to
yeah,
incorporate
to
these
keep your
growth
health.
factors in your daily diet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And,
Okay, Mike, was thanks for the podcast, and hopefully
yeah,
our friends will understand and spread the word. And those are
yeah,
already human effort. I highly suggest you have an old neighbor, your uncle, your grandmother, your uncles, you whatever you have to need to talk about, because all your family can benefit. I mean, in special, you have a grandfather or grandmother, and was very highly involved in raising you, like I had mother and grandmother. My grandmother was my favorite, because she's the one was the closest and taking care and the sweetest. So when you
yeah,
have somebody like that, maybe it's 70, 80 years old, and you want to have her or him around for maybe another 10, 15 years, I highly suggest the human effort. It's the best age defense, is the only product which in the near future I'm going to have a lab test result, and that it prevents shortening a telomere in our body, and that's a secret for long life.
yeah,
And also maybe next time we can get more involved something in why this generation they have so much obese, because I was born 1952. In my life, no matter where I was, there were not this so many obese people. And I started to put
yeah,
together, once they start come out with it, all processed Kellogg's cereals, this one, this obesity just
yeah,
blowed up. So if you look, Japan has the less obese people. If you go to the school in Japan and they have that snacks, lunches, you're not going to see any old processes. All that food from what comes from nature, made by the parents. So that's
like
why.
piece of fruit or
Right.
something.
So when you start at a young age, this crap over processed things, you end up obese, and
It's,
also.
it's really sad, Emmerich, that a lot of people think eating garbage is part of childhood. Like that, if they don't eat that shit, they don't even ever know what it is,
And
that's,
people, you are really believing that powders is the secret to get big, and you think you have enough time to cook, etc. At least read the ingredients.
yeah,
These ingredients. I'm not putting down any supplement company. I would not touch anything with artificial sweeteners or dyes, etc. More
yeah,
processed is worse for you. You just keep it simple and have the food, and they call supplement for a reason. You're supplementing
Mhm.
For example, I would supplement maybe protein. You need to supplement, but I'll have a supplement, a protein powder. I would look has no sweetener, no, it's not processed, no color,
Um,
no
I
flavor.
use I use beef protein isolate that's not even flavored.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Everybody's,
probably in,
oh, this tastes good. It tastes good. That's mean they have to use so many masking
yeah,
stuff to, because if you ever tried amino acid alone powder, it's the
tastes like shit.
nastiest taste. Oh my god! So this, I mean, imagine how much flavoring and sweetener to cover that taste. You
Yeah,
know, so uh, that's another issue we're gonna talk about maybe
yeah,
other podcast. Why this obesity happening in the world.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll cut her off there, but
Okay.
thanks for everything, Emmerich. You are so good at reaching people on a personal level and not and then able to explain these things so well. And I want to thank everybody that's watching this. Hey, thanks for watching. It's important that we get this out there. We're actually pushing real products that really help people, and we're proud of it. So
Yeah.
we'll have more to come.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
cut that off.
Okay.